There we go. There we go. Can you hear me? Do I need peace, man? I'm good. Do I need headphones? Should I put some headphones on? Just to be safe. Oh, okay. How it sound to you? It sound cool?
Oh, it sounds perfect. It sounds perfect. Got it coming through live and clear. So let's see. Let's see. All right. Yeah, we're good. So for everybody listening, watching, thank you for tuning in to the Doc Freeman Show. And today's a special day. Today's a special day, y'all. And I want to introduce y'all to West Coast Cam, none other from groups such as far as the Lynch Mob. You've heard him on many things during the G Funk era. We're gonna get into that in a second, and yeah, let's do it. So, wow, thank you, and thank you again. Big shout out to MJ. Big shout out to you.
Man,
Um, I think one of the first things I wanted to dive into is you like letting everybody know that doesn't know, they should know by now, but if
yeah.
they don't know,
I mean to
Cam.
reintroduce myself.
The good
Yeah,
brother. Yes,
I'm
sir.
Cam. Actually the original Cam. I just got recently within the last 10 years got to handle West Coast Cam because of I think Jim Jones from Dipset gave me that handle because his cam was the East Coast cam, and they did the certified gangster video with my young homie Game, who I put in the game. Uh, and during the video, just for clarification, like he was putting subtitles of the homies that was featured in the video, and they put West Coast Cam under my name, so that kind of stuck, and that kind of redefined myself or gave me a new name, or just like Puff Daddy, he became Diddy. So I went from Cam to West Coast Cam. But I started in 1990, 91 with Ice Cube. My first record deal was through Ice Cube, through his production, Street Knowledge Records or Street Knowledge Productions. And the first record I was ever on was Death Certificate album, Ice Cube Death Certificate album, a song called Colorblind. And then my first solo song was on the Boys in the Hood movie soundtrack, a song called Every Single Weekend, where they was out on Crenshaw at night and got the shooting and all of that. That was my first single. And right after that, my first record deal, my first album, was a single called Peace Treaty. It was about the Blood and the Crip gang troops in LA for the 92 riots after the verdict, not guilty verdict of the 5 white police that beat up Rodney King. Rest in peace, Rodney King. So that's how I came into the game under those that backdrop with Ice Cube and the Blood and the Crip LA street thing.
Much respect, and respect to Yo Yo too because she had
Yeah, yeah,
mentioned y'all. Absolutely.
yeah. That's my sister. We came at the same time. She was signed a few months before I was. So I met Ice Cube when he was in the studio working on Yo Yo's first album.
Okay.
Shouts out to Yo Yo.
Definitely. Yeah, I wanna jump into to the releases that you have out right now because I want they people need to
Yeah,
they need to either get on it or they need to pass it along to somebody that's not on it.
yeah, yeah.
Absolutely. And speaking of the G Funk era too, folks definitely have to pay their respects to you. You definitely were one of the pillars that made that happen. And
Right.
on this track right here, Legend in My Section, it says it by itself, where you're featuring Corrupt and Chill, produced by, another legend as well, Battle Cat. And,
Right.
you break it down over something funky on there too. So,
It take
man,
you
how,
back to that OG 90. It take you back to that G Funk era. Shouts out to Warren G.
yeah,
That's what he named himself off of that. He was also a pillar and a pioneer along with DJ Quick. A lot of the pioneers that was out at that time that we got our start in the early 90s. So yeah, Legend in My Section is produced by Battle Cat. And me and Battle Cat actually got a whole album together, and that was the first single off of that. But since I'm still trying to find a way to launch it, we just decided we was gonna put out some little teasers and get a feel and see what the streets tell us to do. So the first single off of that is Legend in My Section, and that's, like you said, featuring Corrupt and Chill from Compton Most Wanted. MC8 and Chill, Compton Most Wanted. So that's who's on that record.
Definitely. Big respects to all of y'all. So, when doing that, was this pre-COVID or was this post-COVID
Yeah,
when y'all came together?
it was pre-COVID. It was pre-COVID. What really inspired that was earlier in the year, like top of the year, something like that. It was a controversy going on in LA in the streets. I don't know. I think it was Whack. Shouts out to Whack. That's my dude, Whack 100. But it was a controversy about whether or not Nipsey was a legend and what the definition of legend was, right?
Mm.
So, you know, I bump heads with my loved ones. I didn't agree with Whack on that. You know what I'm saying? But he's a controversial dude, and like I am. You know what I'm saying? Just on a different spectrum. So that's why we was giving it up. That was actually before we was making a record before Kobe passed,
Mm.
and in the midst of making that record, that's why at the end, Battle Cat went back in and added the little outro at the end on the talk box about rest in peace, Nipsey and Kobe. So that was interesting how that worked out. But yeah, it was just about kind of redefining what legend is. Legend don't necessarily have to mean record sales and nothing like that. Legend is your impact on human lives, whether it's locally or globally.
I like that. Thank you for breaking that down too, because it's a diverse demographic as
Right,
far as the people who are not only in the hip hop culture, but people who tune into it as well. And
right,
there's a lot of times that they need that because somebody could go off repeating something or doing something that they see repeating it that way, not even know why they're doing it.
that's real. That's true. And we don't realize how much influence that we as artists got, especially rap artists, hip hop artists. So I'm actually I started a foundation called Legend in My Section Foundation. And that's, of course, an educational foundation to kind of inspire the youth, in particular Black youth. So to highlight, teach us of our history, which is our past legends, our current legends, and them being our future legends, present and future legends. You know what I'm saying? And they aspire for greatness, positive. Legend don't have to be no gang banging activity or no rah rah, reckless, self destructive. That we don't have to be known for that. We can be known for being entrepreneurs or you know something more than just sports and entertainment. Educators, intellectuals, rulers like Obama. You know what I'm saying? That was set our sights that we don't have to be employees. We can actually rule countries and states and towns. We can be governors. We can rule. We don't have to be ruled by somebody else.
Indeed, indeed, yeah, we definitely don't have to be pigeonholed by a system or by any systems.
Not at all.
I
We make
totally
our
agree with
own.
you.
It's time to create our own.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, by your right, and by your definition, you hey, you're a legend, and we
We we
appreciate
let
it.
I'm just trying to keep up with our people that put them pyramids out there 5 or 6 or 10,000 years ago. Those is legends. So I'm trying to do something to leave behind some kind of mark. I'm trying to create me a little pyramid while I'm here.
It's dope that you mentioned that because there's no just coincidence that Orion's belt lines up with the Great Pyramids.
Oh, no such thing. No such thing as
Yeah,
coincidence.
you're absolutely right.
Right.
Man, so you got three powerful ones too. You
Uh,
got Race War featuring David Banner. You
yeah, they
know,
a big gift from the Goody Mob.
whew, definitely got to give respects to Big Git because you
Yeah.
know what? Around that same time too, like, yeah, y'all had other hits and stuff out there, but y'all were dropping knowledge even back then. You know,
Yeah,
this isn't something new for everybody out there listening and watching. You know, they've been doing this.
yeah.
So if you can speak on that one too, and you know, just to kind of give a measure, were any of these post COVID or were they all pre COVID?
It was
The
all
recent.
pre-COVID.
Okay,
Everything that we did was pre-COVID. COVID is what shut down the process and slowed down the process. These records were supposed to be out by now.
got you,
And we did
got
a
you.
video actually for the video for Legend in My Section, which is dope. And we shot that right when the COVID things started happening. And that been on ice for 6 months, 7 months, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So the COVID unfortunately created 40 or more million new unemployed Americans. So it affected our industry, and it affected videographers and editors and all of that. Nobody getting no shows no more. You're
Yeah,
lucky if you can get some virtual concert or something like that. So it shut everything down. But we got a whole album. I got 3 videos, ready in the can, ready to go. So I just have to learn. It's forcing me to learn the entrepreneurial game, which is online directly to, you know, to the listeners. You know what I'm saying, and trying to monetize it that way without having to go through labels and all of that. I ain't been on a label in 25 years anyway, but it's forcing all of us to step our game up and become those independent entrepreneurial businessmen and women that we should have been all along. So, you know, positives come from negatives. So how I'm looking at it.
you know what? So that we're on task and on topic with that too. You've already mentioned something that you're doing to give back. On top of that, would you like to direct everyone to that link or to that website right now for that?
But it's being built right now. You can go to my website is westcoastcam.com,
Okay.
cam with a K. And we're gonna have the sub links and all of that directs you to, excuse me, directs you to the Legend in My Section website, because that's a whole different entity, and it's a foundation, that we since it's a whole lot of, quote unquote, white corporate guilt now going on because of, you know how they're all of a sudden just realizing how bad they've been doing black people. So now they want to, give grants and help and put funding here and there. And, we're not the Red Cross, or we're not these not even whatever the Black Lives Matter organization, or, because we are black and our lives matter. But that organization, I don't know how they get their money or what their mission statement is or whatever. I represent, just like everybody else, boots on the ground, to where
Mm-hmm.
we actually helping the people, we feeding the people, because we are the people. I'm getting these food boxes for myself as I'm passing them out. I got to take 2 home, because I'm not rich. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I feel the pain. My fingers on the pulse of what we're going through with this COVID pandemic, and how it's hurting us economically and psychologically and other things. So my Legend in My Section Foundation is being built right now. The website is being built, but within the next, I would say, a week. Within the week, it should be up on my West Coast Cam website.
Okay. That good. So what I'll do, I'll make sure that I put a chapter link to where people can get directly to this, because I think above all, right there, boots on the ground community work, that should shine,
Yeah.
ahead of everything else. And thank you, definitely thank you.
Oh man, shit. Thanks. I mean, I can't cuss. Can I cuss?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Don't slip out. Shit, man. Thank you. Shit, Yeah, I'm saying.
Yeah, without a doubt. Hey, we play hip hop here, so anything that
Okay.
happens in hip hop can happen
Right,
here.
right. Yeah, yeah.
So man, that experience. So even looking at the timing on that too, because I think things got much crazier after quarantine, during and after quarantine. So if this was before COVID, it's like wow, you know. Um, I mean, it's like a premonition away from having a vision of the stuff that's actually been happening.
Right.
Breonna Taylor. You know, I mean, you could name anybody, Ahmaud Arbery,
Right,
you know,
right,
like
all of it.
yeah,
The list goes
everybody.
on.
Yeah,
And
and
that's
and
like
it's
when I was with
sad.
my first album when I was with Q, we had a song. The only feature that I had ever had on with Ice Cube was on my first album called Watts Riot. This was in 92, 93. And I wrote that before the gang truce or the so-called unrest or the riots in 92.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because we already knew that was going to happen. Same with this race war record right now. I wrote that before all of this because it's not hard to see what this is leading to.
Yeah.
It's always been a race war. And then shouts out to my two little youngest daughters, Keys and Mills. They also featured on that song. They want to sing the hook, race war, and they in the video. So but we saw this coming. Anybody with eyes know that there's always been a race war. Social media just put it in your face more. That's what my daughters say. You know what I'm saying?
That's a
It's
fact.
always been a race war. It actually been a race slaughter. It ain't been a war because we ain't been fighting back. But now once we fight back, now it's called a war.
Yeah. Nah, totally agreed. Totally agreed. You know, as far as healing and just basically repairing what we already have. Um, any solutions you can offer to that? Because I know you said
Okay.
even back, I think you were talking about 1990 to 92. I
Right,
remember on our Arsenio Hall show seeing All in the Same Gang.
right,
You
right,
know, seeing that and what you brothers and sisters did then. I think is definitely a good time to see that now too, especially with this younger generation. I don't know how many times removed, but it's like, all right, we need to stop focusing in on each other and
right,
come together and try to see not always a common enemy, but like a common task.
right. It's just we've been hypnotized and distracted by the bag,
Yeah.
by the dollar, the U.S. dollar. And if you look at the U.S. dollar, whose face is on the dollar? It's a white male,
Mm.
and under that is a spell or hypnotic suggestion that says, "In God we trust." So this thing that has a white male's face on it that you need in order to get luxury or pleasure or groceries or any of the necessities of life in this world under this system is that it's attached to their image. And then we brought over here 465 years ago in the name of a Jesus that was painted just like that, and then taught submit to your masters. And when you see the son Jesus, you see the father. So that means if the son is white, that means the God is the father. He must be white. So God is attached to money, is attached to success, is attached to you know the necessities that you need in life. So all of that is putting a governor or a restrictor or a program restriction program in our brains that we can't fight against these people. We can't fight back. We can never win against them because they're attached to God, they're attached to money, they're attached to success, they're attached to all of that. You know what I'm saying? And they physically have demonstrated the most brutal demos on against humanity on us for the last 400 years. So they'll kill you too. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we up against psychologically. You know what I'm saying? Especially as men like you, yourself, and myself, we are the number one target of this world. With the Breonna Taylor, rest in peace, Breonna, but there was like a hashtag going on like black women are the most unprotected and disrespected. No, they're not. The black man is. That's why you're unprotected because we wasn't protected. We got destroyed by the real enemy. That's why it's not enough of us to go around, or our minds are so jacked up because of we're the number one target of this enemy. They got to get rid of us first so they can get to y'all and disrespect y'all like that.
And you when you put it that simple too, what's sad is some people that hear that the first thing that they want to jump to is, oh, that's racist. No, no, no.
You must not know history. You must not know American history.
Right, right,
You must
right.
be believing Joe Biden when he said Trump is the first racist president. You must be you about to vote for Joe Biden, right? He said Trump is the first racist president. My bad. I thought the founding fathers. I thought I thought the first presidents of the United States had slaves and was raping their slaves every day. You know, my bad. I didn't know. I didn't know Trump started racism.
Yeah, man. One day we'll all, what's that song? Donny Hathaway. One day
Oh,
we'll all be
free.
free.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one day. I'm free right now. I don't know about all. One day we all be dead. We either all be dead or we'll be free because you ain't getting free for free.
Nah,
Freedom ain't free.
not at all.
If you ain't willing to go through the fire, you're not getting free.
Yeah, yeah. I can absolutely agree with that. Absolutely agree with that.
But we was talking about rap. So what about these raps?
Hey, everything you saying is important to the culture, brother, and that's what brings us to your next track that we got out. So, Culture Vulture. So we
Right,
first heard Culture Vultures through Dame Dash.
right.
Um, I believe the brother that did the audiobook one was Kenyatta Griggs, I think.
Yeah, yeah, I believe so. And somebody else was telling me somebody else, coined that phrase, years ago before Dame. But that's
Mm-hmm.
the first time I ever heard it. The first time it hit my radar. So I'm not trying to rob nobody else of their credit. Maybe that's true. I just wasn't aware of nobody before Dame Dash. So that's why I personally reached out for Dame Dash and gave him a shout out on this Culture Vulture record, and it's featuring Dame Dash. He got down on he said some words on the intro and on the outro. I put a snippet out of the record. I ain't put the whole record out yet because there's some surprises, also some remixes coming by. So my campaign, play on words, campaign that I'm gonna be putting on these Culture Vultures has just begun.
Got you.
Uh, yeah.
Hey, you know, honestly, with us having the internet and things being different than the '90s and everything, um, I think the way how it's definitely being taken care of, and you know, for those that know exactly what's going on, I'm not going to zero in on
Yeah,
certain things, but hey,
yeah.
for
I
those
will.
that know what,
Can I zero in on it?
yes sir.
That's not for you to speak on. You don't have a dog in the fight. You ain't picking no sides. But for me personally, I'm talking about the first vulture that I'm talking about is DJ Vlad because of intentional. We can prove a intentional slander that he committed against Minister Farrakhan regarding his July 4th speech that he just did called the Criterion, where he spoke on how those fake Zionist people that control industry and banking and finance, they call themselves Jews, but they're responsible in large part for the architecture of the transatlantic slave trade, as well as pornography and all of the social ills. They commercialize off of that. They're the owners of liquor and tobacco, cigarettes and all of that. So and these record labels that promote nigga and bitch and hoe and slut and ratchet and kill another nigga and all this hate speech. They allow us to do hate speech against ourselves, nigga, bitch, hoe, I kill a nigga. But as soon as we say the word cracker, or if we say the word Jew or Satan, synagogue of Satan, which is what Minister Farrakhan said, and he's quoting their own uh, documents. He got the receipts. A book, 2 or 3 books called "The Secret Relationship Between Blacks and Jews," where the Nation of Islam Research Department quoted Jewish record books, historians, rabbis, and archaeologists or whatever, and cited them. These are none of these are quotes of the Nation of Islam. So that created a whole firestorm because, like the Bible say, though, and the Quran, those who say that they're Jews but they're not, they're actually the synagogue of Satan. That's who Farrakhan was talking. Not the white Jewish people that actually follow the religion of Judaism and they discipline and they righteous. The minister got friends in the white Jewish community, the Orthodox Jewish community. They actually call him the Messiah. They call Farrakhan the Messiah, right? That's a whole other religious conversation. So we're not talking about all white people who are Jewish. We're talking about the false Jews that are actually Zionists Those is the ones that did the smear campaign and always talking about Farrakhan is anti-Semitic when the real definition of Semitic means Afro-Asiatic languages. So languages don't create themselves; they're created by the people. So if Semitic means Afro-Asiatic language, that means Afro-Asiatic people are the ones, or the true Semites. So that was that whole backdrop of DJ Vlad intentionally misquoting Minister Farrakhan, claiming that he said that whenever you see these type of fake Jews, pick up a rock, and he just left it there to suggest to DL Hughley on his big platform with millions of people watching that the minister is that Hitler type dude that his people, that the so-called Jewish people been claiming he is, and they just looking for, see what he said. He said when he lied on it, and he clipped it, he cut the clip right there, and because 3 seconds after, 10 seconds after that, the sentence, he wasn't even finished with the sentence. He said, pick up the stone or the rock of truth. No, we're not saying kill him or hurt him. We're saying stand up and tell the truth. That's how you knock out the brains of Satan. But Vlad was supposed to be this top journalist that's so good and wise and knows how to vet information. Out of all of the people that you should have been careful about, Minister Farrakhan words is who you should have really vetted and listened to the whole thing. And you did listen to the whole thing. So that's why I've been on his head, and I ain't gonna get off his head until he tap out.
Well, that's that's some smoke for those out there listening and watching that you probably
Yeah.
don't want. You know, check your
Yeah.
information and speak on or not speak on certain things.
Man, I want all the smoke, like Steven Jackson and Matt Barnes. I want all the smoke. It's just begun, because
Yeah.
this also applies to anybody else that is a guest in our culture, in the hip hop culture. But the hip hop culture only represents the culture of the descendants of 400 years of slaves, the chosen people. Another thing that DJ Vlad said, that the concept of a chosen people is some bozo shit. He said that on his platform. He disrespected reparations on his platform, saying black people, only reparations we should get is free education or some crazy shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? So he totally in violation, and I'm making it my personal uh, assignment to make DJ Vlad tap out, and any of his peers that like people was telling me about a no jumper and a 22 Adam 22 or something like that. Peter Rosenberg. I'm on
Mm-hmm.
all of them, but we're gonna make an example with Vlad first. I ain't easy enough. I just got started.
I mean, you heard it there. So, if this dude were to just be like, you know what, I wanna rescind what I said, wanna apologize and things like that, would you accept it?
No sir,
And
no sir, not
there it
me,
is.
not me.
There it is.
You know,
There
so
it
you may
is.
as well go hard or go home. You stay, keep that same energy, Vlad, because you once you bring people like myself and us across that line to where we have to do this, oh no, it's you're a real enemy. So it's not gonna get physical. We're not talking about doing nothing physical violence or nothing like that. But the
Mm-hmm.
way that you try to assassinate my leader's character and use your platform to do it and lead other black influencers like DL Hughley to go along with that, and anybody else that might not know as much about Farrakhan and his good works, and listen to the media call him Hitler and he's a racist and he's a black Hitler and all of that. You feeding that narrative, you an enemy for life for me.
I can understand that. I can truly understand that. So what? So speaking of vetting and things
Right.
like that, when it comes to the music, the culture, everything that we own and that we produced and things like that, is there? Do you think that there should be some type of like a new system of? I don't even know if there's an old system of vetting personally because I'm just an indie person. I'm a small fish in a big sea, but is there one, and should something differently be done, and if so, what would be your opinion on that?
I mean, that's like what shouts out to Lord Jamar and Godfrey and Royce the Five Nine and My Son and
Hmm.
different people, that we having a discussion about how should we clean up, like should we just only leave it on this Vlad type subject, or should we clean up, the hate speech and vet what we doing against each other? Should we call each other nigga? Should we call each other bitch and hoe? Should we talk about killing another black person or killing any person?
Yeah.
Right? I told them, like, I've been waiting for this for 30 years. Like, y'all tardy as a mug to me, but that's the discipline. That's why a lot of people don't necessarily want to feel like they ready to get with the nation or nothing like that, because it's real discipline. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that no more. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of us, we're not ready to stop until we get into a certain depth of trouble from doing that. Now we ready to stop. That's not wise. You can't wait till the flood come and say, Noah, let me on the ark. Like, you gotta have some kind of wisdom, like to know you knew that was wrong from the gate, and you heard Noah crying and appealing and begging y'all like to stop this whole time. So in one sense, is no mercy. In the other sense, if you can, it's a small window. If you can clean up your act, what I'm saying, in that small window, then you should be good.
That makes sense. That definitely makes sense. So, definitely speaking on, how we are towards each other and things like that. I think this is the sibling phase of where you learn that you need each other. If you
Right.
ever had siblings, and everybody hadn't had siblings,
Right. Right.
or just like a older brother or sister or something like that, or that cousin, or
Yeah.
play cousin. So I think that the family dynamic is something that it definitely is attributed to that, and I don't know, maybe that's somewhere we need to start. What do you think?
I agree, but it still comes down to the rejection of authority and discipline. The reason what kept the homies or whatever in gangs, and growing up, we had authority. We got disciplined by the big homies, or we got disciplined by somebody, and you respected some type of chain of command or authority. This generation is gassed up and taught by the enemy through money, that you can be a reckless, lawless, you don't respect no structure, no unity, no chain of command. Money is your god. If you got the bag, that's your authority. And that's how they deceived us, because we do need money to live. And then all the little groupies, or all the little, lower level mentalities are gonna uh, cooperate with you if you got a certain amount of money. So now money has replaced principle. You know,
Mm,
we can't get nowhere without authority. You know what I'm saying? We can't get nowhere without law. You can't even have love, real love, without law. You can't even
right.
respect or protect your women if you don't have no law. But you can't just do anything you want and think that I'm gonna put my life on the line and protect you. You have to submit to some type of law and discipline and order and rules, and if you don't, I can't no man tell me what to do. Okay, well, can't no man protect you either then. You know what I'm saying? So it comes down to that, unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah. It's a different type of bureaucracy. I read you.
Yeah.
I read you. Wow. So, yeah.
Get
Again,
back to the rap. Let's get to some raps.
man, Kim, like, yo, this has been real dope. I love how like everything's just gelled. It's almost like, this was definitely meant to be.
Yeah.
So during of course, we're still going through the whole pandemic thing and whatnot, and you got to keep up your social media presence.
Right.
You got to take care of family, take care of self, and stuff like that. Have you picked up anything in the meantime to stay centered, like maybe like meditation,
Oh
yoga,
yeah.
or
Oh yeah.
anything like that?
Yeah. I'm an avid reader, like, but I read, just one or two different books. But I've been writing, actually. I done wrote a book. I wrote a relationship book. This is my first book I ever wrote. I just wrote it this year, and it's not about rap. It's not about religion. It's not about gang banging. It's not about music business. It's about relationship. It's called War in Your Heaven. It's a relationship book,
Dope.
because that's really what success is. Success ain't money. Success ain't fame. Success is having a healthy, loving family of your own. Family is everything. That's the foundation of nation and success and everything else, a whole new world. So the book I wrote is a relationship book called War in Your Heaven. The black man's problems with his relationship problems with his black woman today and the feared solutions. So it's not about just about problems, it's about actually the solutions that have to be, you know, implemented by us first as men because we've been punks. We've been punked. We've been so scared of upsetting that pleasure, the pleasure that we get, from women, that we don't put the necessary law down on ourselves, or hold them accountable to what we need to hold them accountable to. So as wild as they are, it's our fault. It's like in Adam and Eve. For those that's into the Bible, Adam try to pass the blame on Eve. You know what I'm saying? Or God, you gave Eve bit this apple. Like, when I gave you the intelligence and the influence over her that you should have checked her. That don't mean she your enemy. That's how you prove you love somebody, by you checking them. You know what I'm saying? You love your children. Not saying that women are children, but you love your children or something. You see them running in the street. You might have to whoop their ass to make sure they never run out in the street and get their head crushed by a truck.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So discipline is love if it's righteous discipline. I know cocky, macho, authority, power trip, God trip stuff. I'm talking about righteous discipline. You got to put it on yourself first, men, brothers, and then you have to be justified in putting it on anybody else.
If we know better, we do better.
Man, that part.
Man, that's so dope. Cam, you know what, brother? I appreciate you taking all this time out with me. I want
Yeah.
people to be able to get your book, to get
Oh
your
yeah.
music, to be able to keep, keep tabs on what you're putting out there for them because,
Right.
honestly, you definitely spit probably about masterclass worth of what people need to know right now, and what someone probably been looking for. And I appreciate you for that. So where can they find you on social media? Where can they also find your initiative that you said that you're gonna
Yeah,
have up
make it
and
in my
running as
section
well?
foundation.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me, of course, one more time on my website, which is westcoastcam.com. Westcoastcam, one word, KAM. And also, before we get off of here, like, regarding the COVID thing and the government and Fauci, whatever, trying to rush this vaccine, whatever,
Mm,
we not taking no vaccines.
no.
We not taking no vaccines. And that's another thing that I've been doing since 2009. And I just made it available for the public, which is ionic colloidal silver. For
Okay.
those that never heard of colloidal silver, look it up. It's the
Dr. Sebi
strong,
talks about
yeah,
that.
Dr. Sabi. That's another person Vlad dissed. But colloidal silver is the strongest known natural antiviral known to science. Peer review published medical and scientific journals all have proven since almost for a century now that no known virus, disease causing virus, pathogen, germ, microbe, a parasite, fungi, bacteria can survive silver for longer than 6 seconds, from 6 seconds to 6 minutes, and no virus has been able to mutate. Like how they say this COVID thing is mutating or whatever. My son, my oldest son, Kamal, shouts out, he got diagnosed with the COVID positive thing, and said, Pop, I need some of that. Gave him some of it. 2 days later, he went and got tested again. He was negative. He was straight. So I can't, for FDA reasons, I can't say that it's a cure, but I can say what peer reviewed published white scientist journals, medical journals, and scientific journals, they say that it cures or it kills all known disease causing viruses within from 6 seconds to 6 minutes. And it's 100% non toxic. It's not a drug, no side effects, no allergic reactions or nothing like that. So Cam didn't make this up. I'm a researcher. I'm an independent researcher, and I learned and I guinea pig with myself and my family. So y'all can get that also on my website, colloidal silver, ionic colloidal silver, westcoastcam.com. And you can find me on social media. All the social media is at West Coast Cam.
Truly appreciate that and thank you. Again, something else that is definitely selfless people check out the brother Cam, and appreciate it, brother. Salute.
Man, salute to you, bro.